Have you ever wondered if love is sometimes nothing more than fear of being alone? Picture this: people clinging to fragile bonds, not out of strength, but out of fear of silence. The Stoics warned us that the chains we choose for ourselves, comfort, romance, even stability, are often the hardest to break. In that silence, there is not weakness but power. What if being single is not a curse, but the purest ground for growth? This is not about rejecting love. It is about reclaiming your freedom before you ever give it away. Imagine finishing a long day of work. The city is noisy, deadlines unending, and expectations heavy. You come home, and silence greets you. Most people run from this silence, rushing into shallow connections, desperate to avoid loneliness. But what if the silence is not your enemy? What if it's the forge where resilience is born? In modern life, we confuse companionship with wholeness, forgetting that self-mastery begins the moment we can sit alone with our thoughts without fear. The Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, did not fear solitude. They saw it as a teacher, a sanctuary, a path to inner power. Seneca reminded us that it's not that life is short, but that we waste much of it. Marcus taught that happiness is shaped by the quality of our thoughts. When we learn to stand strong alone, we find clarity. When we embrace solitude, we gain the freedom to choose love, not out of fear, but out of strength. Stoicism offers us the lens to see singlehood as freedom, not failure. In this video, we will explore why staying single may be the most powerful decision you ever make. We will uncover 10 Stoic truths that transform solitude into strength, how it protects you from wrong attachments, sharpens your discipline, shields your energy, and teaches you to love yourself fully. This is not about abandoning love. It is about building the strength to choose love freely, without chains. By the end, you will not fear being alone. You will see it as your greatest gift. Avoid the wrong attachments. The first Stoic truth of staying single is this: you avoid the wrong attachments. Many lives have been broken not by villains, but by the wrong person, someone who drains your spirit instead of nurturing it. When you are desperate for love, you ignore red flags, you compromise your peace, and you slowly lose yourself. But when you embrace solitude, you see clearly. You learn to say no to manipulation, to disrespect, to anyone who tries to chain your freedom. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." Let's add to this: the happiness of your life also depends upon the quality of the people you allow in it. If your circle is poisoned, your peace will wither. Stoicism teaches us that freedom is the highest good: freedom from desire, freedom from the chains of approval, and freedom from toxic bonds. Staying single protects that freedom, giving you clarity of thought and soul. Think of Odysseus resisting the sirens. Their songs were beautiful, but fatal. He survived because he bound himself to the mast, refusing to be lured into ruin. Today, the sirens are different: an attractive face, the promise of comfort, or the fear of being alone. Many crash against these rocks, giving away years of their life. But solitude is your mast. By holding steady, you avoid false attachments. You save yourself from pain that could steal not just time, but your very identity. In modern life, wrong attachments don't just waste time. They can derail your growth, your career, and your peace of mind. Staying single gives you the power to filter carefully. You can ask, does this person respect my boundaries? Do they bring peace, or only drama? Each day alone is not emptiness. It is protection. It is time saved from years of damage. When the right person does arrive, you will meet them strong, clear, and free, not needy, but whole. Principle 2: freedom over your time. The second Stoic truth of staying single is freedom over your time. Time is life's most precious currency. Once spent, it can never be earned back. In the wrong relationship, your hours get bargained away to drama, compromises, and endless arguments. But in solitude, your time belongs fully to you. You decide when to work, when to rest, when to create, and when to breathe. Every day you spend single is an investment in your growth, your vision, and your future. Seneca once said, It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Most people waste it trying to fix others, soothe arguments, or chase approval. But solitude sharpens your awareness of time's true value. Each hour becomes a tool to sculpt your mind, strengthen your body, and build your path. Staying single gives you permission to say, I will not waste my life in the service of distractions. My time is sacred, and I choose to protect it. Imagine two craftsmen. One spends his days distracted, constantly interrupted, shaping nothing but fragments. The other, in solitude, works with focus. By the year's end, one has wasted time. The other has built a masterpiece. Relationships without clarity often steal this focus, scattering your energy. But singlehood is your workshop. It is where you carve habits, build skills, and design a future free of compromise. Like the sculptor shaping marble, solitude lets you shape time into greatness. In today's world, time is stolen not only by toxic partners, but also by endless scrolling, shallow conversations, and obligations that don't serve your growth. Staying single allows you to reclaim every minute. Instead of fixing chaos, you can invest in learning, building, and dreaming. One focused year alone can set you 10 years ahead of those trapped in cycles of distraction. Protect your hours as you would treasure, because time wasted is life wasted. Your future depends on it. Principle 3. Self-mastery without distractions. The third Stoic truth of staying single is self-mastery without distractions. Relationships can be beautiful, but they can also be noisy, constant check-ins, endless compromises, emotional roller coasters. In solitude, that noise disappears. What remains is the chance to hear your own thoughts, to ask, who do I want to become? With no one pulling you off course, you can build discipline, habits of strength, focus, and resilience that turn solitude into your greatest training ground. Epictetus said, no man is free who is not master of himself. Freedom is not just political, it is personal. It means rising above impulses, steering your emotions, and training your will like a warrior sharpens his blade. In solitude, you are forced to face yourself, your fears, your doubts, your excuses. And by facing them, you grow stronger. Self-mastery is not a gift. It is built, one choice at a time, one habit at a time, in the quiet arena of being alone. Picture a soldier in training. Each dawn, he rises alone, not for applause but for mastery. He runs through storms, lifts in silence, sharpens his craft while others sleep. Years later, when battle comes, he does not break, because solitude forged his strength. Life works the same. Those who cannot endure being single waste energy in conflict. Those who embrace it emerge unshakable. Solitude is not punishment. It is the boot camp of the soul, where you forge resilience that nothing can steal. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. Social media, shallow approval, toxic relationships. Many waste their best energy managing someone else's chaos instead of mastering their own mind. But staying single clears the battlefield. You can read, train, study, and build without apology. You learn to calm yourself instead of needing rescue, to lift yourself when life gets heavy. Mastery built in solitude carries into every area of life. If you can conquer yourself, you can conquer anything. Principle 4. Protecting your energy from toxic people. The fourth Stoic truth of staying single is this. You protect your energy from toxic people. Nothing drains faster than being tied to the wrong person. Their chaos becomes your burden. Their moods become your prison. Solitude frees you from these invisible chains. Your energy stays clean, sharp, and fully yours. In this space, you can decide how to feel, where to focus, and what to build, without being hijacked by someone else's storm. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts." But thoughts cannot stay pure in poisoned environments. Toxic people pollute the mind with drama, manipulation, and endless conflict. Singleness is not loneliness, it is a shield. It allows you to keep your circle clear, your mind calm, and your spirit free. Protecting your energy is not selfish. It is survival, it is strength, it is stoic wisdom in action. Think of a warrior protecting a sacred fire. If he lets anyone step in with muddy boots, the flame dies. That fire is your energy. Many people lose it by tolerating toxic partners, arguments, guilt trips, endless demands. But the Stoic warrior guards his flame. He knows that once the energy is gone, dreams fade, focus vanishes, and life itself feels heavy. By staying single, you defend your inner fire. You keep your spirit unbroken and your strength untouchable. In today's world, toxic energy can come from partners, co-workers, even online feeds. Every fight, every guilt trip, every draining interaction steals from your future. Staying single teaches you to recognize this theft and to say no without guilt. When you live in peace, you become unwilling to tolerate chaos. Protecting your energy is not just about avoiding harm. It's about creating space for growth, joy, and clarity. Guard it like gold, because it truly is. Principle 5. Learning to love your own company. The fifth Stoic truth of staying single is learning to love your own company. At first, silence feels heavy. Most run from it, filling the void with noise, attention, or shallow connections. But solitude is not emptiness. It is discovery. It forces you to meet yourself honestly, your fears, your flaws, your dreams, and your strengths. Once you learn to enjoy being with yourself, you stop chasing others just to fill the silence. You realize, I was whole all along. Marcus Aurelius wrote, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Happiness does not come from someone across the table. It comes from knowing you are enough, even in silence. The Stoics taught that true freedom is independence of spirit. When you love your own company, you stop begging for attention, stop fearing loneliness. You discover that being alone and being fulfilled are not opposites. They are allies. Think of a musician learning to play in an empty hall. At first, the silence feels like judgment. But slowly, the notes become richer, the confidence deeper, until the hall is filled with music that needs no applause. Life works the same. When you first sit alone, it may sting. But over time, solitude becomes a stage for growth, where you realize your own presence is enough. The applause of others becomes a bonus, not a necessity. That is true inner freedom. In today's world, loneliness is feared more than failure. People scroll endlessly, chasing validation to escape silence. But when you learn to love your own company, evenings alone turn into opportunities. Reading, creating, dreaming, recharging. You stop bending for half-hearted love, stop begging for attention. Relationships become a choice, not a crutch. The paradox. Once you no longer need others to complete you, your future connections become healthier, deeper, and truly free. Principle 6. Escaping the trap of validation. The sixth Stoic truth of staying single is freedom from the trap of validation. In relationships, many start bending themselves to fit another's approval, changing opinions, silencing dreams, even hiding their true selves. But solitude frees you. You no longer wake up wondering, will they like me if I do this? Instead, you live boldly, unapologetically, authentically. Staying single teaches you that your worth is not given by others. It is already yours. Epictetus taught, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In other words, stop caring what people think. Validation is addictive. The more you chase it, the emptier you feel. But when you anchor your self-worth in yourself, you are untouchable. Stoicism trains you to stand steady even if mocked, ignored, or misunderstood. True strength is not needing applause. It is walking your path with calm certainty, whether the world notices or not. Imagine an artist painting not for the crowd, but for truth. At first, no one claps. Some laugh, some mock. Yet he keeps painting. Years later, his work speaks louder than applause ever could. This is the power of escaping validation. You no longer live as a performer on someone else's stage. You become the master of your own canvas. Solitude is the studio where authenticity is forged, where your life is painted in your colors, not in shades demanded by others. Today, validation is sold like currency, likes, comments, approval from strangers. Many live for this applause, shaping themselves to fit algorithms and opinions. But when you love yourself first, you stop chasing and start living. You choose goals that excite you, not ones that look impressive. You speak truths, even when unpopular. You wear what feels right, not what earns approval. Staying single trains you in this freedom, to be whole, steady, and authentic without needing anyone's permission. Principle 7. Growing stronger in solitude. The seventh Stoic truth of staying single is that solitude makes you stronger. Most people fear silence, rushing to fill it with noise, attention, or company. But solitude is not weakness, it is training. It is the gym for your soul, where resilience is built. In solitude, you face your doubts, fears, and insecurities. And in that confrontation, you forge strength that no relationship can give you. Silence is not emptiness. It is the crucible of power. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere you can go is more peaceful, more free of interruptions than your own soul." The world tells us peace comes from company, but the Stoics remind us it comes from within. Solitude is where you meet yourself without masks. It is where you learn that no absence can destroy you. Once you've survived nights without texts, mornings without voices, holidays without company, you become unshakable. Solitude makes you steady, calm, and unbreakable. Think of a blacksmith forging steel. The fire is hot, the hammer heavy, the process painful, but the result is unbreakable. Solitude is that fire. When you sit alone, it feels harsh at first. The silence is loud, the emptiness pressing. Yet every time you endure it, you grow stronger. Like steel tempered in flame, your spirit becomes resilient. Those who run from solitude remain fragile. Those who embrace it emerge with power that no storm can shatter. In modern life, solitude is often feared like a disease. People rush into shallow relationships, scroll endlessly, or drown in distractions just to avoid sitting with themselves. But if you can face solitude, you discover something rare: independence. You no longer fear rejection, abandonment, or silence. You become someone who doesn't just survive alone, but thrives. And paradoxically, this makes you more attractive because true strength is magnetic. Solitude is where unshakable confidence is born. Staying single is not a curse, but a season of power. Through solitude, you protect yourself from wrong attachments, reclaim your time, master your habits, and guard your energy. You learn to enjoy your own company, free yourself from validation, grow stronger in silence, and discover wholeness before ever sharing yourself. The Stoics remind us, happiness is within, not outside. Singlehood is not emptiness. It is the foundation for a life of clarity and strength. Remember this: you are not half of anything. You are whole. You are not waiting to be completed. You are already complete. Solitude is not punishment, it is preparation. Every moment alone is an investment in your future strength. The person who can stand alone without fear is the person who can stand anywhere with anyone without losing themselves. Singlehood is your training ground, your sanctuary, your power. From here, you rise unshakable. Tonight, ask yourself, am I running from solitude, or am I growing inside it? If you choose growth, you will discover strength most people never touch. As a practical step, take 1 hour each day with no phone, no noise, no company, just you and your thoughts. Write, reflect, train, or simply breathe. This is how you build resilience. This is how you become unshakable. The more you embrace solitude, the less you will settle for anything that steals your peace. This is the essence of Stoicism: freedom, strength, and mastery of the self. Staying single is not about rejecting love. It is about preparing for it with clarity and freedom. And when love does come, it will not be from fear, but from choice. Remember, solitude is not emptiness, it is power. This is Stoic Miracles, where wisdom becomes strength and strength becomes freedom. Subscribe and walk with us on this path of unshakable clarity.